I oppose fines. The last thing our peers need in these trying times are more fines when that money can be put towards necessities, such as food and rent.
I support large party fines. I support any initiative that helps us diminish losses of life due to this virus. Now, with the vaccine coming this spring, I believe we can look beyond these fines and focus on friendships and our mental health. I will be your advocate to safely help us achieve a new normal.
I support the fines and penalties on those that attend large gatherings in Isla Vista during the pandemic because we should be able to protect the families and students affected by conscious community efforts to reduce the spread.
I think that students should be held accountable for their actions, especially in the times of a pandemic.
I support fines for those who attend large gatherings during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you choose to party, you are putting many people at risk, so you should be fined.
I do support fines and other penalties on those that attend large parties in Isla Vista, and I also support increasing those fines depending on the size of the gathering and whether or not they are a campus-affiliated organization.
I support fines or other penalties on those who attend or host large gatherings in Isla Vista. I support increasing those fines depending on the size of the party and their affiliation with campus organizations.
Unfortunately, I feel that these penalties regarding violations of public health orders are necessary. COVID cases in IV continue to rise due to excessive large gatherings and parties. This has been a rough year and people want things to return to normal. However, this can only happen if we limit these large gatherings and reduce exposure to the virus as much as possible.
I am not in favor of fines for individual party goers. I am, however, in favor of non-monetary forms of punishment, such as community service. I am in favor of fines for households that throw the parties. After all, this pandemic is serious, and those who don't take it seriously need to face consequences.
We all want to keep our community safe, but we also miss normal college life. We miss not having to worry. The responsibility should fall on those creating these exceedingly large gatherings, though.
I don't see these fines functioning as a deterrent anymore. We've seen that large gatherings continue to threaten the safety of everyone in the community. I'd say that the more realistic solution would be an organized call to action to vaccinate students as soon as possible.
I think that not only should we be fining individuals who attend large parties, we need to be holding groups and organizations of students as well as property owners accountable for their members' behavior.
I support fines on large group gatherings. A year into the pandemic, people are well aware of the consequences of being in large group gatherings and partying, so should be ready to deal with the fines that come with it. I hope this will increase the partying at Isla Vista, make the case decrease, and lead to a safer Isla Vista.
I do support the use of fines for bettering the safety in our community, but fines of going upwards of $500 is excessive in my regards.
To demonstrate my support for sexual assault survivors, I am determined to work with the UCSB administration to create yearly, mandatory, in-person informational meetings on sexual assault.
I stand with the Senate's resolution to believe the survivors of sexual assault and intend to proactively work with the IV Community Services District and UCSB to confront a culture of sexual assault head on through in-depth and continuing education on sex and consent.
I hope to increase access to CAPS by expanding the range of therapists available and including an outreach program that would make it easier for people to seek help. Also, holding perpetrators accountable for their actions and enforcing disciplinary action. The bottom line is that I stand with survivors and want to ensure that there's a community of advocates providing resources and a safe space to be heard.
As a senator, I would use my platform to empower the voices of survivors of abuse and sexual harassment, as well as making a per-year mandatory course to get the insight on the signs of abuse.
I want to increase the impacts of student organizations like CARE and Students Against Sexual Assault. We must continue to have zero tolerance for this behavior and increase accountability.
I would hope to show my support for sexual assault survivors by listening to their stories and advocating for whatever they need. I would also hope to work with them on preventative measures to decrease sexual assault and ensure safety for all of those at risk.
As an off-campus senator, I want to advocate for and demonstrate the support of sexual assault survivors by allowing them to tell me what it is that I can do to help and support them. I want to become that medium within AAS that demonstrates themselves as a voice for sexual assault survivors.
Too many college students are sexually assaulted every single year. As your senator, I will create virtual events to help these survivors heal and to prevent future sexual assault. You are not alone.
I would advocate for sexual assault survivors by working with the Students Against Sexual Assault. I want their services to be known to everyone on campus, and I would work to prevent sexual assault by providing keychain alarms to every UCSB student, and providing 24-hour call services to every UCSB student as needed.
To show support, I will raise awareness of CAPS, CARE, and the Santa Barbara Rape Crisis Center. Regarding preventative measures, as senator, I will invest time into creating a program offering free self-defense classes for each UCSB student.
I would use my off-campus senator position to listen to the voices of those affected by sexual assault. I would also work with campus organizations to streamline communications between off-campus and on-campus efforts. I would also raise awareness for resources provided by the university.
When I am your senator, I will always stand on the side of survivors of sexual assault. I will work with AS to provide funding for support services for survivors of sexual assault while bolstering education programs to reduce the number of victims and make this community safer for all.
As someone running for off-campus senator, I advocate for staying where survivors would prefer, whether it's being private or public about the trauma, focusing on other things holding their perpetrators accountable, and that regardless of anything, I'd rather believe potential victim than a potential attacker.
As an off-campus senator, I would hope to work with clubs and organizations such as Students of Sexual Assault and encourage other members of the community to attend informational meetings to stand in solidarity with the survivors on campus.